Um, so I'd like to talk a little bit about education for ministry. So if you look at EfM's website, it's defined as a 4-year certificate program that was started by Sewanee's School of Theology. But that's a very dry definition for what we do. So it is a 4-year program, but we sign up 1 year at a time. So there's only a 1-year commitment at a time. And across the 4 years, we do a lot of reading. The first year we read the Old Testament and an accompanying text, and the second year is the New Testament. The third year is a book on the history of Christianity, and the fourth year is a series of small books, kind of an introduction to theology and ethics and kind of interfaith texts. So it is a lot of reading, but it's broken up into small weekly assignments. It's very manageable. EfM's not a Bible study. Even though we read the Bible and we read a lot about it, it's not a Bible study. We come together all 4 years, or how many ever years are in our group together. We meet together at the same time, and the magic really happens when each year is discussing their readings for the week, and you see connections between all the readings, and it triggers more in-depth thought and discussion about it. But the real big part of what we do in EfM is called theological reflection. And the name of it's kind of self-explanatory, but not really. So we have guided discussions where we reflect on different topics with a theological lens. The way I like to talk about it is that we're learning how to see the sacred in the everyday. And so it makes us more aware of God in our lives, in all aspects of our lives. And it's a small group seminar setting, so there's not a teacher for the group. So I'm a mentor for EfM. My role is not to teach everything. The readings are to help be your teacher, be your guide. My role is just to guide the discussions in our group. And we would love to have you join us.
EfM to me is all about connection, and I think that goes kind of twofold: connection with the people in our group, and then connecting us through all the things that we do in EfM.
I strongly feel that in order to get a full sense of our faith and Christianity, you really need to understand the entirety of the Bible, including its context within the world both in which it was written and our world today. And EfM does a terrific job of both of those things.
Well, I started EfM 4 years ago, and a lot has happened since that time. It's kept me fascinated. It's expanded my faith. And it's taught me how to pray in more ways than I can count. And, I'm an electrician by trade, and that was my occupation. And I've learned there's a great difference between occupation and profession. And so I feel I've been blessed, very, very much so, to be here today.
EfM has really strengthened my spiritual walk with God, in the way that I feel like I know more about Him. I know more about the history of Him, and I feel like I know how to pray stronger than I ever have before.
One of the things that we do at the very beginning of EfM is called a spiritual autobiography, and you dig into your own spiritual life and kind of make a map of your own life and where you've kind of grown spiritually and things like that. And I think that to me has been one of the most important things that I've learned, is that not everyone's spiritual journey is the same, nor does it need to be the same. And just because everyone is different doesn't mean you can't all come together and learn something together and learn something new about yourself and your own journey. So hearing everyone's spiritual autobiographies is very powerful and a really it's just a really meaningful way to get to know people and share that vulnerable side of you in kind of the religious world.
Well, I thought I had a spiritual life, but, in learning more about, going through the process and more about me, and again, as Megan spoke about doing the spiritual autobiography, that has helped me to come to terms that says that I need to have more, I need to know more, I need to do more. And so in order for me to share my faith with others, I need to increase my faith.
I learned so much about how Christianity changed the whole world, how it grew and it moved. It didn't just, not only how it impacted, the Israelites, but how it impacted everybody in the world. And also in learning that, it challenged my faith, because the history of Christianity is not always pretty. So it really, it challenged a lot of my thoughts and preconceived opinions.
I've actually been through all 4 years of it, and I started over again at year 1 this year because there's just always more to learn.
And that's something you can do?
Absolutely. You can do it as many times as you want. You should do it. Everybody should do EfM.